we write only what, in the end, we wish to keep secret from one another, even though we know we never really can. All secrets are told. And so it has been written, not by me, but as much to me, that on this night, like any other, the gospel reveals its light, shouts the good news, and becomes an open secret. It is simple in its complexity. We are each and all the many eyes of one God. And in dying, we live this truth eternally. The gospel is now open because man, through history, has been brought to his utmost extremity, entirely crucified and laid bare, made to suffer beyond every conceivable insanity, especially those which cannot even be conceived. History has ended. The world and all of its hells are already over. Only heaven remains. Somehow this secret needs to be and will be forever retold. And so the gospel here and everywhere is the very mouth of God, the breathing presence of divinity that I know only through my communion with you. Man's innermost recesses have been exposed. His most ungodly horrors and humiliations have been spread before the witnesses of his trial. Their eager eyes, like entirely amoral eagles, whose only wish was to feast on the delight of spirits adrift in the wind of their own wondrous and self-indulgent melodies. How quickly the world gets lost without wisdom. How empty even the music of the spheres can seem to sound unless in each of the seven is discovered the common harmony, the most secret and the most well-known, the always and undying source of the ever-renewing breath of eternity. Only here, at the utmost edges of human life, does the infinite gain entrance, and can the holy truly pour into the life of mortal souls. What appears in me is merely the other end of you, the love who through evil became my own enemy. Evil is the inverse of love, the dismemberment of the one. But in being destroyed, the one can only be forever renewed. The good news is now known by everyone. We can only love one another because we are not other than one another. All of human culture is a cult of death. We grieve together over the loss of our own lives, over the shared despair with which we always are. But in dying, we are forever reborn. Spirit is the undulating mystery that brews between our patient and modest human breaths, the unspoken motivation for our solemn night's regrets. What secrets can I keep from you, who know me as clearly as I see myself? There is nowhere to hide from the light of God. It reveals everything. It reveals all to everyone at once. And yet, there is something in the light that remains concealed. The true wisdom and source is also the most secretive of hidden and confusing labyrinths, ultimately a mystery even unto itself. Know thyself, which must also mean love thyself. Knowledge truly is of good and evil, and unless in love we are able to remember the good underlying our mortal nature, we die without having recognized the divinity of our every living, moving moment. There is no eternity but what is here and now. And in this unending surprise, the world is created forever anew out of its own ashes. In each of us is the all. The one is none other than you and I. We together are the Hes and Shes who make the single world out of the coinciding opposites of sex and death. In dying, we are reborn, and in separating, we become one. There are infinitely many more things to fear than mere death. Death, it turns out, is the simplest of mysteries in comparison to the many other ones who lure always wisdom astray.